First story, how I found out my wife had a work duck buddy. I 42M and my wife 50F had been married for 20 years. My world is about to explode, but I was snooping and that's how it was found. I think the problem outweighs the way it was discovered. Do you agree? I saw a notification on her phone and knew it was an unsaved number. I went snooping. In the last 2 years, I have found that my wife is on several dating apps such as Tinder, Grindr, Adult Friend Finder and Swing Life Social. We have not had in our 20 years marriage a discussion about friendship and whether we consider it cheating. But I do feel that friendship that can be requested and personalized, and the option to communicate with somebody across the screen is considered an affair. She keeps all of her passwords on a password-protected spreadsheet, and most of the time her computer is unlocked. But I also know the password. I found that in March there was an AOL account established. This made me laugh initially because it had her information in it, but ultimately, I thought it was talking about her being well endowed, which I would think you would want on a dating site, right? She had it saved in her email and forwarded to herself, but it didn't have anyone else's email address in it other than the AOL address and her Yahoo. So it told me the username, and at your usual password. I know she's been spending more time at her computer screen, and I do see because she doesn't clear her history that she has been on site. I did tell her the other day that I couldn't sleep, had wished you had come to bed. There were multiple questions in this one text. She told me she had been setting up her new iPad, but I mentioned that I saw her with entertainment on her computer screen instead of coming up to bed. I questioned her, asking if I was not enough anymore or if there was something that she needed differently. She answered the other questions, but she did not answer the one about me not being enough or something more, and I've been too afraid to push it in person. So today I'm off of work and she goes into work. I went to check her computer and poke around a little bit more. I did notice that she recently updated her passwords and she removed some of the sites, including the Swinger site. But I guess I had written it down or remembered the password. When I went into the site, I remembered that I had not looked at the profile in previous days. I might have seen that there was a picture of her face blurred out and she playing with her dildo while doing herself, but you haven't been allowed to see their face. And I thought she has photos posted online blurred. Then I'm reading more and in the initial tagline, it talks about her being willing to meet someone, but she's taking a break. I thought, well, that was interesting way to say that she had not discussed it with me yet. And then I read the bio, how old she is, her height, her weight, her bio, and it says that she's 5 feet 8 inches, 140 pounds and exotic. There was the main profile picture that was blurred out. And then there was this area that showed a lock symbol, and so I clicked on it and all the photos without blur showed up. What the duck? It was a bunch of photos. It is actually have sex with an old guy on several different outdoor locations. The guy who she worked with for several years and has children are children's age, and I believe he's still married. I meet him on the Halloween party. The photo of them encounter together, they are not fully undressed. It very well could be at a work function or a work location when they traveled at the same time. This makes me vomit. And then the other pictures are nudes of her. What the duck is he ducking her? And why do they have an encounter outdoor? I wonder, can this site only allow you sharing photos? And why she convinced him to just let him use her for sex? That's a huge risk when our city and state is correct. So I have now realized that the username for the website that I thought was a play on her co-worker name, and also the AOL email address, is a combination of two names. Yes, more vomiting. Update. I confronted her. She has had a friend who I know of but have never met. I have joked he was her work husband. We even wore the same couple's Halloween costume to private and work parties. I actually was so sick of hearing about her coworker or his wife that she told me months ago. I did not want to hear it. She admits to on and off sex and one visit to a swingers club with thoughts of continuing that, but she got anxious, and so she was on the website with their encounter photos. First time after a group happy hour in his truck. hotel near their work for lunchtime while we were both working, so I would have no reason to check her location sex prob 6 times in the same hotel. And then a work trip for 2 to 3 nights together. This started 18 months ago, a couple times. They stopped as they knew it was wrong, both married. Then started again months later. Stopped and then again. Last time was almost 3 months ago now. But she was actively perusing finding an out-of-town swingers club to visit under the premise of a work trip. She totally takes blame. Says it was not about love, but did like the attention she got. I am so broken right now. I don't know what to do. Backstory: we have been in therapy for a year. She had a sexting relationship with a high school friend of hers several years ago that I discovered while her computer was open to the message, "We live far away." Nothing happened. I do know that, but it was an emotional affair that I was not able to get over very well. Probably because I wanted to just brush it under, let her know I was aware of it, and I was not going to stand for it. It needed to end, and try to push past it and work on ourselves. We have been doing much better, I thought. We often fight when she has had more than 4 drinks in the evening. It's about stupid stuff or something. She did not hear correctly because of the drinking, and she does not always remember. She has asked me in the morning if I have written notes down so that I can help her understand what happened the night before. We are about to leave on vacation with our family. I don't even know what to do. At therapy last week, we wrote down separately on sheets of paper how we imagine our future, and we both say retired on the beach in chairs with each other. How can she do this? I've tried to log into AOL. I really think that I need to get access to that first to see what is there. I am positive I have the correct login, but it wants to send a text message to his phone, which usually keeps her. Does anyone know if the message just comes up as "here's your code," or does it say AOL and someone is trying to log in? Oh, in the password, which was noted as your usual password, was not one of her usual passwords. It's likely this. What the duck? I did text her coworker a photo of their encountering from the site and one of her nudes that's posted with a message of the Thea's duck. He tried to call me. I didn't answer, but he would have heard my name on VM. I texted him and said, "Did she call you?" He texted to ask if she should worry that I would come to the house to confront her family. Be afraid. I told him to tell her. So much more has come out just now. I am so ill. I am so angry. I hate her. And she did more at the club than she initially let on, and did plan other locations for a club, while she visited him on other trips. I am going to be testing STI. Update. I had found evidence of probably cheating and needed to figure out how to confront her. Backstory: she had a previous EA 5 years ago that lasted a month before I found their chats on her messenger. I called her out. It stopped? I thought maybe I needed to be better, try harder. Basically, I rug swept it all. Last summer, I told her during a fight, I still get concerned jealous when I see the info I had printed. It all comes back. She got upset that I still had the papers and would see them every so often. She said it means you don't trust me. I am positive. I did not know the term gaslighting before 6 months ago. We decided we had to go to therapy together. We have been in couples counseling for a year. I got in amazing shape 2 years ago. She actually asked me if I was having an affair. I don't have the time or patience for that shit. I am beyond busy as a husband and professional friend. 2 days after she asked me, they slept together for the first time. It was an EA that started at work and progressed to be physical with hotel dates about once every couple months. They would start and stop as they knew it wasn't right. Both married kids. They work together. They have traveled together and stayed overnight together on a trip that she would send photos of the room, dinner. Can't wait to come back here with you. I can never go there now. She has an alcohol problem, which I had been trying to get her to curb for a year, and more recently knowing that we fight when she has 5 drinks, which I guess has been on and off forever during our relationship. She visited swingers club with him. They thought about going to others, but she got anxious, so he proposed to go on an out-of-town work trip as cover. I texted her with their photo from the website along with her nude. He started telling me everything. The last time they had sex, I think I believe him, was 3 months ago. About 2 months ago they said just friends. We had plans for an important family trip 24 hours later. I am not ready to talk to the boys or explain anything. So we all went. Here now. I can't look at him. I cry all the time. I have told the kids I haven't been feeling well. She is sleeping on the couch. Kids in another room. I've already contacted our couples counselor and let her know that I confronted her and I would be having a single session with her next. When we get back home, I need her to move out of our bedroom. But I don't know what to do. I love her. I hate her so much right now. We did chat the last 2 nights and knows she has lots of self-work. That work is going to take a long time, and I told her I can't consider anything with her right now. I did ask her on the first day. She didn't reply, and again last night. What would you tell your daughter if she told you her husband did this? We don't have a daughter, she said. I would probably kill the guy. I told too bad I lost both of my parents in the past few years. Oh, and my father was a cheat. My mother divorced him after 40 years of marriage. I fear to be that person single at 70 years old. Her father also cheated on her mother, which is where a lot of her own psych issues come from, I think. But I am positive she will do what she needs to do to protect herself from him finding that. I also sent her an email at her work address. I know the org they works for. They can get email on their personal phones. It's possible she intercepted it. Update. I reached the AP's spouse via email. She asked if I could meet her and bring what I have. I told her I was out of the country right now. She asked if I could send the photos that I have, so I sent her all the photos and screenshots with proof. She asked if she could call me. We've just talked for well over an hour. He only told his wife that he really messed up. Somebody he knows has photos of him and is using it against him. He denied any sexual relationship, so I gave her all the information. I just tore that man's life apart. She relayed to me information about the night that was there first. She woke up after midnight and freaked out when she saw that he wasn't in bed. Checking his location, it was off. She checked the last place. The credit card was swiped and headed to that bar. She showed his picture around everybody. His car was still in the parking lot. She had thought something had happened to him. And then she sees him wandering in the parking lot acting odd. He claimed a mental health issue. I texted my wife with that information that she found him walking in the parking lot. My wife replied that she saw him and freaked out and got out of the car. So after that, they decided that lunchtime meetup at hotels would be a better option. I am totally broken. Everything is a trigger at the moment. Grey's Anatomy season, there are 3 affairs in 1 episode. We turned on the car to drive to the airport and Morgan Wallen's Thinking About Me was on. Lost it. I silently cried facing the window in the front seat. I don't even know what separation looks like. I never imagined my life without him. I have never been an adult by myself. Update. 2 weeks ago I confronted my wife and she admitted to an affair. We were away on a last family vacation I couldn't stop from happening for the kids. It was a dreadful week. Thank goodness the kids are older and had their own room. I played nice for them while we were together, although jabs happened that went over their heads. I got almost all of the info the first hour of confrontation, but I kept pressing. Dates didn't seem right. More credit card investigation. I pressed for more info and told her I just needed to hemorrhage right now before we flew back home. I got even more info. I do believe the ESA has been over for 2 months now. But they continued to be really good friends, which she knows cannot happen. She has cut all ties with him, removed all socials. She has moved into the guest room. She had IC yesterday and referred to psych as well. She has so far to go to be a good person and good mother. We both know that. I can't even look at her without crying. I don't know that I can ever trust her again. Update. The kids had plans after vacation and were not home together. We both had read a lot of books on affairs. Thank you for all the recs and about taking to children about affairs. We chose last night to tell them. We had Dad do all of the talking. Mom broke her vows. She broke this family, and she and me will be living apart from each other while we figure out the next steps. We reassured them. We did not gaslight them. We told them their house and school. I will stay put no matter what. Will be home for them as long as they need it. We told them that at the moment Mom is in another room. But beyond today or this week, we cannot say what the picture looks like. They sat in silence. The oldest asked if he could go to his girlfriend's. I expected that and almost gave the girlfriend a heads up that he might need her. The younger one left for him room. I gave him 5 minutes and went up. He is so emotionally mature. He sat me down. He cried with me and let me cry. He asked questions. I answered what I could. How long has it been happening? I didn't answer when was she with him instead of us. I said I couldn't answer, but he could ask Mom. He asked me how they communicated, and in reply he said a year ago he thought it was odd that he saw so many snaps from the same person, but he didn't know he should say anything. He said he never saw the messages or any photos. I think he's telling me the truth. I think he feels guilt that he might have known and never said anything equals. I reassured him it was not up to him. He did nothing wrong. My heart breaks for him. The oldest came home at curfew and came to my room to hug me. I did tell WW that one of the boys saw and was afraid to say anything. It's been 15 days since D-Day. I have been tested for STI. I am looking in finances and legal stuff. I have talked with friends and have my own CC app this week without WW. The AMT of money we have spent this past year on CC with this shit going on. Need to call EAP for work to connect to IC. I don't know my next steps. I was honest with the boys that I can't see past today. I have protected her. Stupid words, arguments, people, friends, or my own emotional abuse I have put up with for so long. It's hard to now call her out. I am wearing my ring as of this moment. But again, I don't know what life holds after today. I contacted OBS. Her husband had been gaslighting her and actually lied when she caught him crying over my text to him with nude photos that I had found. I provided lots of information, including photos, hotels, travel schedules. She knows that there's no reason I would have to lie, but obviously it's up to her to decide with their relationship. My mom and dad divorced after 40 years of marriage due to repeat infidelities of my father's. She passed away several years ago. It made me sad that she lived her last few years as a recent divorced woman while my dad got on with his life. I didn't talk a lot to my dad in those few years following the divorce. He knew I was bitter about it. He thought he deserved more than she could give him as one of the letters I read. So was he remorseful? Or was he sad that he no longer had someone to be at home at night for him and have food in the house clean? He was also a functional alcoholic. Today he died. He quickly developed a relationship and was happy to have that person there for him to fill in, which tore my bother and I further away from him. I always imagined being 70 and happy in this marriage. Our last CC session was what does it take to get to the happy at the end of the rainbow retirement, knowing we both want to be old and gray and in rockers near the water. We both have the end in sight, but what do we need to do to make that happen? We have been looking at vacation retirement properties. This session was 1 week before I found out all the lies. I should have put a damn ironclad post up in place 4.5 years ago, when I found the previous EA. Then it would all have been laid out. But there was no way he was going to be stupid again, right? I also did not consult anyone and realize this was a thing. I just covered it and prayed that I could be a better wife and not encourage her to stray. Stupid. Second story. My partner has been cheated on me. I've been cheated on. Me and him have been together for about 6 months now. I 28 and my partner, 39 Some backstory. We met about 7 years ago through my brother. At the time of us meeting, I was in a relationship and she were living with her daughter's father. We all hung out as a group of friends and all had a group chat, which to where me and her became friends on Snapchat and started talking. We talked about the current relationships we were in and that she had a baby on the way. Just life in general, normal conversation. And eventually one conversation led to another, and we felt as if each other were our soulmates. We hit it off immediately. I fell in love with her. She was still currently with her daughter's father. Well, it ended up being more consistent to where we would talk every day. She would come visit my brother more frequently. We started talking sexually and wanted to be FWB. So with me being so into her, I gave in. We met up and had sex without her daughter's father knowing. And it continues to happen with every time she came to visit. She obviously ended things with me and her daughter's father. We broke up and I moved back in with my mom and continued the sexual relationship with her. She ended up separating from who she was with and ended up moving to my home state. This was perfect. This was the best news. We could finally be together for real. We talked about moving in together. That only lasted for so long. She ended up moving to a different state and we didn't talk for years and years. And within those years she ended up having another baby with someone else, and of course I was dating other people too. Fast forward, we end up reconnecting again and I was really hoping that this time would be it. For good. We were gonna make it forever. However, we had our many fights about my past and her body count. It was never able to be let go of. I was told to delete every mail out of my phone and on all social media's accounts. So I did. Until I kept getting messages from old dudes and it just kept becoming a reminder for her. So she continued to get fed up, but still tried to love me with everything she had. Gave 110% of all she had this time. But I still had a past creeping up on us. I've done just about everything she's wanted me to do except to refuse to change her number and delete her social medias, cause I didn't think it was fair if everything was already deleted mine. And I couldn't control people into reaching out to me. Well, the last month things have been really rocky and we've said some pretty hurtful things to one another. To the point where we have started believing one another. We didn't see each other for a month and have had a plan to see her for her birthday. Well, because of everything being rocky, the fights continued and she broke up with me. We went back and forth forever. I decided that I was still gonna make the 7-hour drive to see her for her birthday and really fix this with her, and finally agree to delete her social medias and change her number. Only to drive the 7 hours and see a car in the driveway. It was a dude. A dude she met at a gas station not even 24 hours prior. She came out and I screamed and cussed and threw her birthday stuff all over her driveways. Ripped pictures out of my car, ripped my necklace off in front of her. I begged her to make the dude leave so we can talk this through and she told me no, why would I do that? So I left and drove 7 hours back home. We've been texting and ultimately came down to that she's gonna a month for finding herself. She promised to not reach out to any guy, hang out with any guy, don't go to social events, just be alone and not talk to her for 1 month to find herself. I don't know what to think, what to feel. I've been crying my eyes out for 2 days straight. I haven't ate in 48 hours. I need input, advice, anything. Do I give her the 30 days and really prove it? Can I trust her to do the same and prove to me? I need help. I'm on the edge because we both have done wrong, but we both want it to work.